Hello and welcome to Community Health Journal. We begin today with well-deserved recognition for longtime Tri-Cities orthopedic surgeon Louis Zirkle. Dr. Zirkle has not only cared for thousands of people in our area throughout the years, he's been an inspirational difference maker in providing life-changing surgical training and care to patients in the underdeveloped parts of the world. Dr. Zirkle's humanitarian efforts recently were recognized by the highest levels of the U.S. government and by one of the Tri-Cities' favorite sons.
It's unique, obviously, for a Richland guy to be honoring a Richland guy about as far from Washington, D.C. as we can get without being in the Pacific Ocean. But I would just tell you that, to recognize one of our own here, and I just tell you, ma'am, all the family, apples don't fall far from the tree. You're part of a very special family here today.
A recent Monday morning in the Tri-Cities saw Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis present Dr. Zirkle with the department's highest civilian honor, the Medal for Distinguished Public Service. In the late 1990s, Dr. Zirkle founded the Surgical Implant Generation Network, or SIGN, a company that designs orthopedic implants for use by surgeons to treat fractures in third world countries.
And I remember looking at all the places you'd been when I was studying what you'd been up to over all these decades while I was wandering around parts of the world as well. And I noticed that he was not going to the places with 4-star hotels and 5-star restaurants. He was going to the countries where they'd been dealt a pretty rough hand. And I just think the example that you have lived here in the Tri-Cities, talked to a young man, you won't remember him probably, the number that you've worked on, but he'd been in a very bad car accident. There just came a point where the bills were just going off the roof. And Dr. Zirkle said, well, I'm just not going to charge for my medical care here. And that young fellow told me all about you, Dr. Zirkle.
Secretary Mattis is a 1968 graduate of Richland High School. Approximately the same time, Dr. Zirkle was forming his love of helping the vulnerable populations of war-ravaged Vietnam.
General Mattis also referred to the 10-year-old boy. He came in with a napalm burn, and he couldn't move his knee past 90 degrees. He was fixed at a 90-degree angle. He couldn't walk, and that's terrible for a 10-year-old boy. We worked together. We pulled his knee out straight through traction in 2 different directions. And as he walked away with his father, I looked at the mango that his father had given me with a thumbprint still in it. And I thought, this is the best gift I've ever received. And I wanted to continue that. And that was the start of SIGN.
Dr. Zirkle has trained 5,000 surgeons around the world, bringing transformational orthopedic care to more than 200,000 patients, all a result of the dedication of about 40 SIGN employees, led by the tireless vision of a humble surgeon from the Tri-Cities.
And I accept this award on behalf of the SIGN family because all of you have helped. All of the surgeons overseas have contributed, and I'm very honored to have a chance to work with you.
We really have 2 powers in this country, 2 fundamental sources of our nation's power, and one is the power of intimidation. And let's face it, those in our military, that's what they exist for, really. They're there to say free men and women will fight like the Dickens if you take us on. But there's also the power of inspiration. And I'm reminded of a French guy who wandered around America back in the early 19th century. And he said, America, he could see already America was going to be a great country. But he said, I'm paraphrasing here, so long as we remain a good country. I would just say, Dr. Zirkle, that you're part of the power of inspiration. You're part of the reason America will stay a great country because you prove we're a very, very good country.
We join Secretary Mattis in offering our heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Zirkle on such a well-deserved honor.